For Sean, any from watching back, any different takeaways from the weekend?
No, difficult result for us. But I thought the performance that we gave in terms of creating chances, trying to score, and not giving up many chances, I thought was pretty good. It just wasn't to be on the day for us.
How have things been in training, getting back to it this week?
Good. The players, we had to remind them, and we showed them the game again. We showed some film, and we showed all the positive actions that we had. And on a different day, if we score the chances that we get, we walk away with 3 points. We didn't take the chances, and obviously losing 3-1 at the end, I'll take the responsibility of the last goal because that's my decision to play as many forwards and to try and get 1 point. In the end, 3-1 looks a lot probably worse than what it was, so we needed to make sure that we, picked the players up and said, the reality of the game looked a lot like this, and not the reality of the result when you look at it the day after and you see yourself getting beat 3-1. I don't think it was a 3-1 game.
So is that kind of just video enforcement at the start of the week? Is that?
Yeah, video reflection meetings, and obviously we showed some data from the game as well, which, again puts us in a really positive view that if we played the game, another 9 times, we might win it, the 9. And that was to be as a game we didn't take points from, and we're really disappointed. And we have to make sure that we correct that moving forward and take the chances that we create.
Any injury updates this week?
No, as it were, early part of the week, we've had a couple of bumps and bruises, which you're going to get this time of the season. But no, we're going in with the same group for the weekend.
Speaking of the weekend, you played Detroit. 2-2 draw when they were here in April.
Yeah.
April. They've kind of had a rough go of it recently, at least in terms of results. What do you see in their recent games that you might try to key in on?
Well, they played last night, and again, probably looking a little bit like us. I don't think they deserved to get beat last night. I thought the very dubious penalty that was awarded against them, and if you look at the game and you look at all the balance of play, I think they had the better of Rhode Island at Rhode Island, and that's something that you've got to take your hat off to Detroit. They're a really good team, and obviously they've got a really good home record over the years, so that's going to be difficult for us. But we have to go in with the belief that we're going to get 3 points. We have to go in with the belief that it's a big game for us in terms of standings, and towards where we want to be at the end of the season. So we'll be, going in there with a view of we need to take something from the game.
What do you think about kind of, Keyworth is known for the atmosphere. Would you say that that's not, too much of a factor with the players just because of the experience they have of playing there or in other kind of hostile environments?
I think it's okay. I think it's good. I think it's a good atmosphere. And the atmosphere comes basically, I think, from the stadium being so close to the field, and that's something that, the players hopefully will rise towards and enjoy the atmosphere and the feeling of being in a good game. And, we've got to make sure that we quieten that hostile atmosphere down pretty early. But yeah, we're looking forward to it because it's a good place to go and visit. And, we've had a couple of good results up there in terms of, taking points, especially at the end of last season. I thought it was a real gritty performance from us, and I think we're going to have to do that again.
Murph and Elvis are kind of returning because they were there last year, and the inverse, Seba is up there. Any keys you kind of remember from your playing days of when you're playing former teams?
I don't think I think it goes really quickly. I think once you leave a team, then you join your new one and that becomes your environment. And I very rarely look back on the teams that I was at with the viewpoint of I know a little bit more about this, because everybody, changes year on year. It'll be good for us to go up there with 2 players because we'll get a little bit more knowledge on what maybe they're trying to do. And obviously Elvis had a cracking game, against them the last time we played, scoring the goals. But we're looking forward to playing the match because it'll be a really competitive game and obviously trying to come away with 3 points.
When you look at, internally, things you need to do to have success, what's top of that list?
Fight. Everybody who goes there, you have to compete because they will compete. We have to manage their intensity because they'll come out really quick. They always do up there. And then we have to, sort of manage transitional moments. So when we're attacking, making sure that we're aware of the threat that they've got, because I know Smith recently has not sort of got the goals, but he had a great start, and he's got 7 goals this season, so we have to manage that. And on the other side of the transition, when we win the ball back, they can become very open, and we've got to make sure that we play in the areas and the spaces that they give us and take our chances when they come.